Right.
So we are live. So welcome to today's Ask Karen. This is where I interview a variety of either coaches, therapists, healers, and they give them an opportunity to share with you a little bit about what they do, how they can help, and share a bit of their story. So Dr. Nick Salinas, if you'd like to share with the audience, who you are.
Hi there. I am a doctor of physical therapy. I am a father and a husband, and I own and run functional movement therapy. And we help people all around the world with back pain, sciatica, disc herniation, all types of injuries, and get back to living a life that they love.
Awesome. And for those who wouldn't understand what functional therapy is, could you explain?
Absolutely. We teach people how to use their body as the tool that it is. And we take a complete 360 approach. So our services are 100% online. So you can access our services from anywhere in the world, which is huge in this day and age where healthcare is in shambles, as you guys might say in the UK, between the healthcare system here in the US and the NHS and our friends up in Canada. I hear it day in and day out. And so we give people the tools to fix themselves. And so you have to know how to use your body, how to move, and really truly use movement as medicine. And that's why we take a total person approach and really get the results that people are looking for after they've been to in-person care, the traditional healthcare system, and not gotten those results. Our average client has been to between 5 and 8 different practitioners in person and yet gotten the results with us virtually.
Right. Wow. And there you go. What you said, something really resonated with me, because it is about empowering them. We've got to get away from this, giving all our power away to somebody that's in some kind of uniform or a white coat, and yet learn how we can look after ourselves. And I totally understand the whole purpose behind the functional therapy, because I suppose the problem, I've come from the fitness industry myself. So the gym, it's always been a bit of a bugbear with these machines that you sit in and do things because you're not engaging your core. And I get it if somebody's not able-bodied for certain things, but however, the majority of people should never be sitting down. Would you agree?
Right. Absolutely. We move in 3 dimensions. And so we have to learn how to move in 3 dimensions appropriately. Exercise is simply a way for us to practice what we're going to do in real life. Right. And so we have to learn those proper movement patterns. And, just like you have to learn your taxes and have to learn how to take care of your car. Right. Your personal maintenance is really important. Right. Especially when most of us live sedentary lifestyles, sedentary jobs.
Yeah. And isn't it interesting that people will go and spend more money looking after their car and understanding how their car, some people, and yet they've got no interest in understanding how their own body works. We only get one that we know of, right?
And nobody wants to work. Oh, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, if we don't look after it, we're in trouble. And I've always found it interesting why people don't want to be naturally curious about how their body works, rather than waiting to go to somebody once it's broken.
I love the curiosity, and especially if it is broken. Like if we, and I use that term loosely because you can we'll go through ebbs and flows of fitness and health in our lifestyles. But even if you do have an injury, a lot of our clients have suffered really with PTSD of injury after a disc herniation, after, severe back pain, and going through it for months and months, years even. There's a fear of movement that develops. And so you have to approach that problem with curiosity and through a new lens to start to see new avenues of possibility for your healing. And we help you navigate those ins and outs, which is very tedious. It can be.
I mean, and it's odd. I just find it odd that, I can remember, so, I've been out the industry for quite a few years now. 2016 I left. But people would say, and they wouldn't be that old, be, even in their 30s, 40s. Oh, no, I can't do that because of my knee. Oh, no, I've got a knee problem. You think, if you don't do that, you can have even worse knee problem. But isn't it funny that so many people, like you said, some people are coming to you and they've been suffering for years in some cases. I mean, I'm a complete wuss then, because the moment I've got something, it's like, right, got to deal with that. But why do you think people are allowing things to go on for so long before actually taking responsibility and going and getting it dealt with?
Yeah. I think it's because it can be a headache, and we kind of think that most of the time things should just resolve and fix themselves. You know, that, and like we talked about, the healthcare system being broken, and nobody wants to go to the doctor. And then by the time you pick up the phone to actually get in, then they're going to get you in a month or, you know, weeks later. And then you're not going to get results there. It's going to be like 3 steps down the line, you know, and then that cost and the time. So you're just like, I don't want to do that. We naturally have a phobia of the medical field, right? Some people have it of dentistry, of lawyers, maybe a bit of that. So it can be obviously a multi-tiered issue.
Yeah. And so, I suppose, you know, I know we can all be quite lazy in certain aspects of life, right? We want the quick fix. Everybody, we live in such an instant gratification era. People just would rather take a pill that's actually only going to mask something, might reduce a bit of inflammation, but it's only going to mask whatever problem is, rather than actually do the work. So if they come to you, if they're coming to you, if they're in chronic pain, I'm presuming, in general, rather than acute, are they?
You know, they can be. So you mentioned that quick fix. Like, I can give you a quick fix. I can show you how to quick fix yourself, and that's fine, right? Because there are, what we build in are actually short-term and long-term solutions to the program. It's not like you're going to have to do this thing, right? Squat or leg press or whatever it may be, and it's going to be 6 to 8 weeks before you get better. No, if we actually address the root cause of that issue, many times we get there in 1 to 3 weeks. It's a pretty quick fix when you've been there for months, you know, at a time. Or you can leave that session feeling better.
Right.
It can be a quick fix. You just have to know where to go to get that quick fix. And if you don't want the pill or the shot, right, then come to somebody who actually gets results consistently.
Love that. So yeah, there is an alternative out there. Love that. So they can come to you, have a consultation on Zoom, I presume, and then you're going to give them some rehab. Okay, so this is for long term, not just the short term fix. It's to cure, so to actually solve the underlying issues. Is that right?
Yeah, we will take people wherever they are in their journey, because I think health is a very personal journey, and I want to be there as a coach to guide you through to whatever aspect of health you want to achieve. And so if a short-term solution is what you're looking for and you just want to get out of pain, that's fine. Then let me help you to get back to living your life. If you want to run the New York City Marathon, like 2 of our clients just did after sciatica and significant knee surgery, cool, we can get you there too. So how far do you want to go? Let's do it. Let's make your dreams a reality.
Right. So it's not just, well, I love that, because yes, I suppose because of maybe I'm not going to say old fashioned, but the old ways maybe of training, where people are doing certain maybe compound exercises and then individual exercises in the gym. What I'm hearing from you is that then you're taking them to do more functional movement. So yes, because at the end of the day, that's how we go about our life, don't we? We don't just go forwards and back and side to side. We twist and we bend and we, you know, it just makes sense if we're not training in that way, and we're only doing this very on these certain planes. When we do go and twist, the body's not going to be ready for it, and you're going to pull something. It's so simple that it's almost like too simple. It's crazy, but you know, this is where, you know, people injure themselves, and it's quite very rarely actually maybe doing the exercise. It could be leaning to the back seat of the car to pick something and it's gone, or painting the bottom of the skirting, and or doing the gardening, something where they're in an awkward or not, maybe a natural position,
Right.
But if they're coming to you and they're learning these functional movements so that when they are painting the skirting, they don't get injured.
Exactly. And truth be told, we teach you the functional movement patterns. Squat, lunge, deadlift, single leg deadlift, split stance, hip hinging, pushing, pulling, throwing. Those are all your big functional movement patterns. And you can be nice and strong and steady and mobile in all those 3 different planes of motion. And then you need to be strong for 5% of life that doesn't allow you to be stable, right? When you're loading the Christmas tree up on the car, when you're painting the skirting, when you're doing the gardening.
Yeah.
These awkward positions, and you got to be strong for that.
Right.
So,
and it's all must start in the core, and probably the one thing so many people leave out.
Yeah, and I don't think people have a good understanding of what the core is. Like, we can start there and go back to the fundamentals. So when we talk about core, for me, it's really starting at the pelvic floor. Nobody, especially men, talk about the pelvic floor as part of your core. When we work on the pelvic floor, the transverse abdominis, the almighty TA, and the diaphragm, we talk about breathing. So fun fact for you, Karen, if you have somebody who is sedentary, somebody who is obese, and somebody who has a breathing dysfunction, which one is more likely to have back pain?
There you go.
Your breathing dysfunction,
Yeah.
not the sedentary, not the obesity. It's the breathing dysfunction. And so we talk about breathing often, and I'll talk about breathing during life and during exercise. But when we're at the desk, how often you catch yourself like, when was the last time I took a breath?
A proper breath.
Yeah. That anxiety kicks over, or we dial in so much on the task at hand and we forget to breathe. And that can build up so much tone and pressure, and then we breathe dysfunctionally. And so we're not utilizing our lungs correctly. And if we don't get oxygen to our bodies, then what happens? Nothing good.
Well, yeah, absolutely. I mean, I know I've seen these. I've seen them. I've got one. They look like an inhaler, but it's got a ball in it, and so you breathe out, and you've got to keep it. You've got to keep the resistance there, I suppose, because I mean, I've got asthma, so again, it's all about strengthening those. I suppose that it's not about the muscles that you can see. I suppose everybody before, especially the guys, they just want to tone the muscles that you can see, but actually for health, it's the teeny tiny supporting muscles and ones that you don't really.
Well, your diaphragm is pretty big, and your pelvic floor is pretty big, and your transverse abdominis.
They don't see it. They're not really seeing. Well, they can see the transverse, but they're not connecting the dots, are they? They're just seeing the outer.
Yeah, they're not the looker muscles. They're not the big deltoids. Right, absolutely. Yeah, and so you have to have an awareness of how to activate those muscles, how to breathe properly, how to control your pelvic floor, and what things like spinal hygiene mean and how they relate to real life, so that we can get out of back pain and allow those tissues to resolve and heal.
Right. And have you seen a change? Say in the last, so I've been out in this a while. So have you noticed a change, say in the last 10 years, with the common type of back pain that's coming to you? So, for instance, I started 30 years ago, and I was seeing a lot of lower back pain, and then later on, it was more upper traps and neck because of being on the computer. Have you seen a switch in the sort of common issues that are coming to you?
I'd love to say yes, but I haven't. And I haven't seen a big switch in the methodology for treatments. Part of my story is that I worked as a traveling physical therapist for 4 years. So I worked all over the continental US. And I keep going into these clinics, and they were doing old methodology, and it just broke my heart. Because before, these clinicians, before they even saw the client, before they even took them through an assessment, they said, okay, that says knee pain, I'm going to do these things. I mean, this is back pain, this is my protocol. And that's what I call the cookie cutter approach. And it's a detriment to the client, and it really breaks my heart.
Well, things change. I mean, I can remember, I don't know whether you've heard of Paul Check over there, but he's very much on the functional stuff. And he was, I can remember, it was like, oh, he's so controversial, or bending your knee and keeping your knee in line with, you don't let them go further forward than your toes. It was always thought to be controversial because they might have been put, but now we realize that actually, no, that's what you need to train it to do. So that, again, going back to getting in awkward positions, you're not going to pull it out. So all this, even the squat has changed. I mean, I know even from my training, I taught body pump, and it was very much hips back. But, I started doing CrossFit, and it's a completely different movement. I mean, it's a completely different movement to what we were trained as originally. And I suppose we can all get complacent. You think you've done your study, and that is a massive thing for anybody out there, that do not stop learning, because the research adapts, that it changes. Paul Chek, I mean, he's like, he knew his stuff. He knew his stuff. It wasn't controversial. Mm-hmm. He's actually, giving you all a kick up the backside.
Yeah, he put out some really, really good stuff, and it continues to. And I'm always a big fan of Naudi Aguilar too, who is one of his early students and has done a lot of great work here. I spent some time out in Wenatchee, Washington, which is a beautiful part of the country, and where Naudi's actually from originally. Met some of his friends, and it's cool how this circle of, it's a small world when you get to know people. And
I find it fascinating because, people really put him down. And I have to say, that wasn't my thing, when I was teaching, but learning some really easy muscle energy techniques, trust me. I mean, I've never had to go and see a chiropractor again. My sacroiliac joint would come out post giving birth. Mm-hmm. And somebody who'd been trained by Paul Chek showed me this really simple, very gentle.
Yeah.
And it saved me more than one. I mean, now I touch wood, I haven't got any problems, but it just goes to show, I totally agree with what you're saying, is, going to these people where they've got the same, they're giving out the same rehab advices that they were 20 years ago. Run.
Yeah. And the way
things have moved on. So I love what you're doing. So functional. So explain to the audience, what your services are. What do you offer?
So we offer a variety of things. Well, really two things. We offer one-on-one training for clients over Zoom. We send them a individualized training program straight to their phone, and also give them the support and community that they need to resolve back pain and sciatica for good. We have various plans for that to help them, and really to see people through based on their budget. And the other product that we have, and I'm very excited about, is our digital product. So if the one-on-one training is just a bit too much, I've actually packaged everything up into a digital process for you. So it's a 12-week training program, complete with the knowledge, the education, the exercises, everything that I go through and talk to, our entire FMT 360 process put together and given to you week by week with different modules and lessons. And you can take yourself through, and you have lifetime access to that information so that you can go through the ebbs and flows of recovery on your own timeline.
Wonderful. And so is there any sort of contraindications? Is there anything that wouldn't work? Is there any kind of condition or problems with the spine that actually wouldn't be the right thing to come to you, or any back problems you can say?
I really draw the line with three things. There's three symptoms of disc herniation that are massive herniations, which do require surgery. And that is a loss of reflex or a loss of muscle control of the ankle, foot, and toes. It is symptoms that never leave the foot, that you can feel from the back to the hip, down the back of the leg, down the calf, but they never leave the foot.
Right.
Yeah. And then really making sure that you're not having bilateral symptoms as well. So if you're having a disc herniation that's giving you bilateral pain. So like one typically goes beyond the knee and into the calf or foot, and the other one is going like to the glute or to the hamstring and knee.
Right.
You're losing bowel or bladder control.
Ooh.
Go see a neurologist. Go to the ER. Get that taken care of. Those are
the things to that. So anything else though? Come see you. So your website is functionalmovementtherapy.com. So anybody in any kind of pain, come do it, because you can do it at home, right? You don't need loads of equipment, and you can just do it.
We start you off with good equipment, and you can schedule a free connection call with us right there on the homepage of our website, and peruse around at any of the information that we've made available for you guys. We got tons of resources.
So do you have any question that might relate to other people out there, maybe if they're fitness coaches and they're struggling to get their business online?
Yeah. We're all on social media. We're all doing, trying to get people to like and share and engage with our social media posts. What do you find that is most relevant these days, and how to do that specifically on Instagram and TikTok?
Oh, Instagram or TikTok? Well, definitely so shorts. They're really short. People haven't got their attention span is very short, right? So it's pretty ideal. So yeah, make sure it's just maybe just one tip and switch it. Not just giving out valuable information. You've got to entertain. You want to educate. So a bit of a mixture, but only about all you need is 25 seconds. That's it. Just get the thing out there, add some images to it. It's very easy to do. There's so many apps out there as well. Or if you're going to do this, maybe just prep in advance, maybe 20 for the month, and then just keep knocking them out, but put them everywhere, not just TikTok. Shorts on YouTube are doing really well as well. But with your mobile phone, right, so that it's the long way, those ones are smashing it right now. YouTube, Insta, TikTok. So you can use them as stories, but you can also add them as reels. And now, Canva are doing amazing things. You can add video or add audio to them, so you can make them really, really interesting. And then you can repurpose the same stuff, right?
Yeah, you've got to.
Awesome.
We're doing, yeah, absolutely.
So yeah, just keep going, just keep showing up. There is no magic pill, there is no magic formula. It's just a case of being consistent and keep showing up. Awesome. Thank you for your time today, Nicholas. Lovely to see you. And if anybody is in pain, get in touch. Doesn't matter where you are in the world.